The Army Painter is my favorite hobby company in the entire world. My desk is literally full of Army Painter products, and it takes me from being an average painter to putting above tabletop standard models out into the tournament scene. Not only that, but the Army Painter has sponsored more competitive play than any other hobby company in the industry. They allow us to keep doing the things that we do. If you enjoy the Army Painter as much as I do, head over to thearmypainter.com where you can use the discount code ARTOFWAR5 to get a discount on your next order. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Art of War. We got a super exciting stream today as we are going to be discussing the top 10 worst units in the game. And there were a lot we had to go through.
There were a lot. You know, Siegs, I remember before we started this video, I was like, the units are good these days.
You literally said to me, there aren't that many bad units. And we found out.
I was so wrong.
There are quite a few bad ones, and so we're going to be diving into those throughout the video. So if you are joining us, please do give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and tell your friends about us. All of that massively helps us grow the channel. In addition, leave a comment below letting us know what you think of our list, as well as some of the things that weren't mentioned here. There's more things than we did that aren't going to be on the list that are bad. So if your favorite pet unit is not quite good, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. In addition, if you want to watch more content from us, there's some amazing stuff happening in the War Room at thewarroom.vhx.tv. There's a 3-day free trial to it. In addition, you get content for every single faction in the game. We just finished our State of the Faction series, which went through all the different armies out there and kind of their role in the meta right now, some of their best list archetypes, all that stuff. In addition, there's 3 battle reports every week with post-game analyses diving into the players' thoughts during and after the game. And finally, you get access to our international Discord community. Try it out right now. All right, Mr. Quinton.
Yes.
Okay, so criteria for worst units.
Worst units.
Right? Okay, first of all, mobility is king in 40k. So
100%.
Things that are relatively immobile, probably not going to rank too highly in the game.
I am not a big fan of Movement 0.
Movement 0, not good.
Not good.
Speaking of which, OC 0, also not particularly good, especially with the change in Pariah Nexus where OC 0 units can't do actions. That was a huge transformation. Before, you would see a lot of 0 OC units. Now, not so many. In addition, units that just have plain bad or counterintuitive rules that are useless, and we're going to see quite a few of them.
Or just units that are like way overcosted but do nothing.
But yeah, do like the bare minimum of nothing.
And if there was some poor unit out there that has a combination of all of these factors,
yeah,
probably
once you hit
list.
like 1, 2, 3 and plus of them, all right, you're going on here for sure. But we probably had like 30 units and we had to narrow them down. And then just think about this. We spent, or at least I did, agonizing over what to rank like third worst versus first worst. Like,
so
how do
bad.
I justify this? So get ready. There's going to be justifications.
There's so many units on here that like are so many units in the game that are like bad, but are spared from this list by virtue of the fact that they're like OC1 and to move 6 inches. That's like enough to not be here.
Have you seen any of these on the table?
Yes.
You have?
I've seen one.
All right, we'll get to that.
Yeah. I've actually played with one of these units.
You have?
I have played with one of these units.
You champion of garbage. All right, let's dive right in here. So, starting off with the honorable mentions, we have one of the kind of your Black Library reader, one of your favorite characters out there. He's amazing. But he's not amazing on the tabletop. Yep. He is Trazen the Infinite, a Necron character.
So cool, the Infinite and Divine. Very and not cool in the tabletop.
His rules are real. He is one of the worst named characters in the game, and this is an edition where named characters are some of the absolute best units in the entire game.
Named characters are really good across factions.
So here, let's explain why he's bad. So first of all, he has a rule called Ancient Collector, which is sticky objectives, which is a good rule.
It's a good rule.
That's a great rule. I want that rule in most of my armies.
Single-handedly keeps him out of the list and puts him in the honorable mention slot.
However,
yes,
it's only when he's leading a unit, so at minimum to access it, you have to spend at least 70 points. It used to be 75. Immortals went down 5. That's the cheapest unit you can buy. Otherwise, you would be spending 85 on a Lich Guard unit or 100 on Warriors just to get this rule. In addition to that, he is a Lord who doesn't have the only weapon that's actually decent in combat for Lords, which is the Overlord Blade. Instead, he has the Empathic Obliterator. Don't worry, it is not what it sounds like. It does not obliterate anything. It's sustained D3 hits, 4 attacks hitting on 2s, strength 7, 0 AP, D3 damage. It will barely kill Space Marines.
Does he kill 3 guardsmen on average? I don't think so.
He might.
He might
get through 3
He might
guardsmen.
get 3 guardsmen. Yeah.
If the 6s are with us.
Yeah.
And then finally, he has a second role, okay? And this one's amazing. Not really. It's called Surrogate Hosts. And at the start of your command phase, if he's on the battlefield, you can select one other infantry character that you have. Can't be a Scorpeg Lord, can't be an epic hero. And you get to put Trazyn in his place. So you get to take a good infantry character, which Necrons have plenty of, and you instead get to put the garbage that is Trazyn in there.
So what you're saying is I can, instead
You can pay the points for another character and then swap Trazyn to that spot.
So I can give up my Feel No Pain or Fallback Shoot and Charge or
-1 to hit, Fire and Fade.
For this. God, how many points is he?
He is a cool 75 points. He is not very good.
No, he's quite bad.
Embarrassingly bad. Sorry, Trazyn. I love you in the lore, but you're not it on the tabletop.
Yep.
All right. Next up, in our honorable mention slot, we have the magic of the Sidonian Dragoon.
with Radium Giselle.
It's not the Taser Lance
Which one was pretty good.
For Games Workshop, they had to, for whatever reason, they had to split up the Taser Lance one from the Radium Giselle. They really wanted you to think about Radium Giselles. So let's talk about this bad boy. All right. His weapon, the Radium Giselle, is 1 shot at 36-inch range, hitting on 4s, strength 5, AP 2, flat 3 damage. It's anti-infantry 3+, all right? Heavy and precision, no death wounds. So you get 1 shot out of this bad boy. In addition, somebody at Games Workshop wrote this. Focused Hunters. At the start of the battle, you're going to pick 1 enemy unit, and your Sidonian Dragoon with Radium Giselle with his 1 shot is going to get full rerolls to hit against that target.
The specific units. No, wait, hold on. It's not full rerolls to hit, period. It's against 1 specific unit.
Yes, against that one.
It's 1 unit.
It's the one that you pick before the battle.
With his 1 shot?
With his 1 shot.
Why is he so bad? I mean, like, he does move far and is kind of annoying to kill in his OC2, which saves him from being on the spot. But
yes.
Why?
Like, the rules that you would pay for, which is potential damage, his ability to kill characters, obviously, with his sniper, and his data sheet rule are all embarrassingly bad. I don't know how this was thought of. This unit also went up 10 points in the 2 updates ago.
Sure. I mean, like, I think it'd be interesting if his gun was, like, plus D3 damage, plus 3 strength, plus 1 AP, real wounds as well. Right? If he was like a good sniper, it'd be interesting.
Just remove our pain, delete this data sheet. We don't need it, okay? Just let the Taser Lance be its lance, and there happens to be a gun in this kit. It's not good. It's never been good. I don't have these models built. All right, so that's the second honorable mention, and then we've got one more honorable mention here, which is going to be a unit that Chaos fans love quite a bit. It is the Helldrake.
It's so cool.
It is so cool. So it is a flyer with 0 OC.
That does hurt it.
Okay tough. It's T9, 3-up save, 12 wounds, 5-up invuln. And it has 2 options for guns. It's got a 12-inch flamer that's D6 plus 3 shots at strength 6, AP 1, 2 damage, ignores cover.
Okay, so you can kill some Space Marines.
You could kill a couple bodies.
Yeah.
And Hades autocannon, which is 36-inch range, 6 shots, hitting on 3, strength 8, AP 1, 2 damage, doesn't ignore cover. And then its combat is 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 7, AP 1, 2 damage, anti-fly 2+, dev wounds. So it's okay at killing like 3 JPI, but it's going to struggle to do damage into most things.
I think if you committed this thing into a squad of jump pack intercessors, which between us is actually its best possible target in the game,
probably
it might kill all 5.
It
might kill all 5.
It could. It could. Not counting Armor of Contempt. And its rule is each time this model makes an attack that targets a unit that can fly, it gets +1 to hit, which is literally only relevant if you take the autocannon.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I guess it works on its feet, but like,
yes,
it's not great.
It's not great.
It's not great.
So
it's also OC0 and it's 205 points.
The reason why it's on here in the honorable mentions is, yes, it's going to do more damage than most of the things on here, but it's 205 points for the privilege of doing so, which is a shockingly high amount.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, this thing has to be like at least like 150 for people to even start considering it.
If this thing was like 130, I might consider it. I probably wouldn't take it.
Just like a Predator's around the 130-ish range, right? 130, 135.
If this thing was like legitimately like 50% cheaper, you might consider it.
It's not good. 205 is
way over,
ludicrous.
yeah.
Like, why would you ever take this over a Vindicator or something? Yes, it can technically get in somebody's backfield, but it's easy to move block. It's gigantic.
It doesn't do anything.
Its wings are such that it's kind of hard to actually fit it over terrain.
It's huge, yeah. I mean, like, it does hover, but, like, why? Like, it doesn't do anything when it gets there. Like, God forbid your opponent doesn't have fly.
It's not great.
It's not good.
But it's better than the things in the top 10. So, moving on, here we go. Into the top 10, we have the Wolfguard Pack Leader. Okay? I think this is Lucas the Trickster.
Yeah, I think.
The model.
Plasma Pistol, I think? No, it might be Lucas. It is Lucas Trickster, I think.
I have no idea who this is. Games Workshop doesn't have this model on their website, so I had to just pick a Space Wolf looking dude in power armor. So what does the Pack Leader do? This is not the Battle Guard Leader. Okay, this is the Pack Leader. So he's a 2-wound Space Marine.
Okay.
That's a character.
Oh boy, that is a bold decision.
He can have a variety of garbage guns, probably a plasma pistol, and he can have a combat weapon that's usually going to have like a 2-attack power fist. He's basically a regular Space Marine.
He's literally he has the offensive capacity of like a tactical Marine Sergeant.
He's a 30-point tactical Marine Sergeant, okay? So what else can you get on here? Well, he's an inspiring leader. And while this model is leading unit, once per battle, not always, just once per battle, when a battle shock test is taken for his unit, so he has to be in a unit, you reroll the test. Once per battle. They had to restrict that. That was going to be way too strong. They had to restrict
you can re-roll a failed battle shock test.
Once per battle.
Once per battle.
If you're leading a unit and you took this, you wasted points on this guy. In addition, they made sure that there's no way you make this guy actually good, okay? Because he has a second role, Pack Leader, where he cannot be your warlord and cannot take enhancements. So just in case there was a good one to make him do a modicum of anything, no way. He's doing nothing. Yeah. And then finally, there's the last part down here, which is in his leader rule, which is that if it's possible to attach the model to a unit and it doesn't, it dies.
No, I think if you do... Yeah.
If it's not possible to attach it to a unit,
dies.
he just dies. Sorry,
so
I said
he has
wrong.
to join the character.
He has to be joined, so he can't just be a 30-point dude hanging around.
You would take him for 30 points because he's OC1
an action
as an
unit.
idiot, but you can't do that. How many points is this Qatari Marshal?
35.
So for 5 more points, you get Flurials to hit and auto undo battle shock.
Once per game, also on battle shock. Anything within 6, not just his unit.
Yeah. Why is he so terrible? He needs a character so he gives up assassinate.
Yes.
Or no prisoners. He's not even like good in combat. He's 2 attacks.
He is garbage.
He's so bad.
Why does he exist? He doesn't have a model. Why is this a data sheet? I have no idea.
Legends. To Legends with you.
Straight to Legends for you, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to number 9 here. We have Death Company, but not the ones that you see on the table. They don't have jump packs. They don't have combat. I guess they technically could take one, an Eviscerator, but they are the Death Company Marines with bolt rifles. So effectively the old Death Company Intercessors.
Okay.
Let's look at these bad boys, okay? So you see on their data sheet, they're the basic Space Marine kind of Intercessor profile. They got their 1 OC. They can take a variety of random guns, but mostly bolt rifles, and then they could take a random combat weapon. Cool. They're 5 Space Marine dudes. They have a 6-up Feel No Pain from being Death Company.
Okay.
But then they have this nasty rule called the Black Rage, Quinton. So each time a model in this unit makes a melee attack, not ranged attack, okay, melee attack, you reroll the hits. But you have a downside, which is that while the unit is not within 12 of a friendly chaplain, so you minimally you're spending like 70, 75 points extra to get this, it cannot fall back and it's OC 0.
Wait, so you don't want to put my home field as OC 0?
The unit you would want to put on your home field objective would be OC 0 unless you spend another 70 points to put a chaplain nearby.
I see.
In addition, once per turn, you can target this unit with Fire Overwatch. Remember, it doesn't double shoot like regular Intercessors and Space Marines, and it doesn't have sticky objectives. So you could do Fire Overwatch for 0 CP or heroically intervene with the barely any combat that's in this unit for 0 CP.
Okay, so you're like 1 Power Fist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
And each time the unit makes a ranged attack, you can reroll the hit. So here's the reroll, or you can reroll charges for the unit, whichever applies. Okay, so they do get it there. But that's
You only get, so your reroll hits in Overwatch, not all the time. Okay, but you just have bolt rifles and you don't double shoot.
Yes.
Okay.
So while you resolve those strats, that's when you get it.
I see.
So this is a really, really terrible. This is 90 points. This is
90 points.
10 more points than 5 Intercessors that sticky objectives and double shoot.
And double shoot.
And OC2 and battle line.
What?
This unit
How is
exists
this
out here.
possible?
It exists out here in the wild.
What? But the regular, you could
I
use,
have 30 of these guys painted too, by the way.
but you could just use these guys as regular intercessors, and they're just like cheaper and wildly better.
Wildly better.
Okay.
For 10 less points.
How many points did you pay for this unit? If
Why-
it was 40 points, you might take it.
I mean, yes, there's a point where it is nutty because they would just be relatively cheap bodies and you just throw out 5-mans. But you'd have to run the chaplain. So like it's not technically, even if they were 60 points, you would still really want the chaplain because a bunch of OC Marines is not ideal.
Not ideal.
That do no damage.
Yeah. Wow, this is a terrible unit.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
Moving on to number 7. We have a unit that I have never seen on the table yet, but we've only heard of its mythical power.
Okay.
It is the Death Strike missile.
Death Strike
It's just called the Death Strike.
Okay.
But it has a Death Strike missile. This used to do like AoE mortals in the previous edition, but you would have to wait a random amount of time to be able to fire it. So they've changed how it works a bit. So let's look at this bad boy.
I have a confession real quick. I've
Yeah.
actually played against one of these before.
You've played against the Death Strike missile at a tournament?
No, in this like a stream game.
In a stream game?
Like a TDS game.
Okay,
Yeah,
a TTS game.
someone ran one.
I was going to be like, it's our stream games?
No.
I don't think John has one painted. Okay, here we go. Death Strike missile is the rule.
Okay.
All right. In your shooting phase, each time this model is selected, shoot. If it has not shot with its Death Strike missile this battle, you can do one of the following in addition to resolving its ranged attacks.
Okay.
Designate target. So if this model does not have a Death Strike marker, a target marker on the battlefield, you get to place one anywhere on the battle. Or you can adjust target. If it has the target marker on the battle, you get to move the target. Okay. Let's go ahead and then look at its weapon.
Okay.
Death Strike missile. It's blast, it's one shot, it's a plasma warhead, which
So
is
you
going
get to
to be
shoot this thing one time.
one time.
So this whole tank has one shot, and you get to fire this tank one time.
It'll also have a heavy bolter and a hunter killer. Don't get crazy.
Okay,
Glenn, all
okay,
right?
sure.
We'll get something out of this bad boy. But here we go. The one shot. 2d6. Its range is not applicable. It's just its range.
Okay.
We'll get to the rule in a second. So it's 2d6 shots, hits on 2s, BS2,
Okay, that's good.
strength 16,
That's pretty good.
AP 4,
That's very good.
1 damage.
What? It's one damage.
1 damage. Now let's get to this rule here. So the plasma warhead. The bearer can only shoot with this weapon in your shooting phase, and only if it remains stationary this turn, and you did not use its Death Strike ability to designate target or adjust this phase.
Okay.
So you have to have it planted already. When the bearer shoots with this weapon, do not select a target. Instead, you resolve this weapon's attacks, rolling for each unit within 6 of the center of its Death Strike target missile, the target individually. This unit, if you note, doesn't have indirect fire.
What?
So it's just going to, no, that's good.
Yeah, okay, so
it's
hits on
just
twos.
going to AoE affect an area with a bunch of 2d6 1 damage attacks.
Okay, so hold on. Let me get this straight. So it's turn 1, and I'm going to be like, haha, right here, opponent. I'm going to put my marker down.
Yes.
Next turn, I might shoot everything within 6 inches of the spot. But it's every unit, right? So if I have like some dudes there, I also hit myself.
Yes.
Okay. And then like when we finally get there and you go through all the rigmarole that I'm going to shoot this one-shot tank, you do like 3 damage to a rhino.
Yes.
Because you hit on, you have 7 shots, so you get like 5 hits and then like 4 wounds. Do you kill a 5-man like ranger squad? Not even ranger, like do you kill 5 like grots? Maybe.
2d6 is not the number.
No.
2d6 with no rerolls effectively.
And you still have to roll the hit and wound, and then it's only damage 1. So
only
you're
damage
definitely
1.
not killing 5
Luckily, it's
Space
strength 16. That really is going to help us out a huge amount.
Marines. It is, but it still means you're wounding like rhinos on like 3s.
By the way, this is 145.
This is 145 points.
This is more than a hellhound. Somebody at Games Workshop needs to get your game together. Please.
145
This is the same cost as a Vanquisher tank, the Lehman Russ tank.
What? Okay, I have found our...
Swear to
okay.
God.
Okay, hold on. Here's how we're going to nerf guard. Every guard player must take 2 of these things.
3. Rule of 3. Rule of 3 is in place for a reason. It's to force guard players to take garbage data sheets.
Why is it so bad? This thing is terrible.
See, they have to give guard bad data sheets so that the guard players might take them.
Yeah.
Keep that win rate lower than it should be. All right, so that's the Death Strike at number 7. Number 8. Number 8.
Yep.
Moving on to number 7. It's a model near and dear to Quinton's heart. It's the Miasmic Malignifier.
Or as Nick liked to call it, the Malignant Malignifier.
This is a Death Guard fortification.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go.
Okay.
This one infiltrates, so it is not stuck in your deployment zone, which is a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's T10, 3-up save, 12 wounds, 0 OC, and then it has a Noxious Stink weapon, which is a ignores cover, 6-inch flamer, 2d6 shots, strength 3, 0 AP, 1 damage. Cool. And then it has an aura. While a friendly Death Guard unit is wholly within 6 of the fortification, each time an attack targets that unit, -1 to hit. So first of all, you have to be wholly within 6.
Wholly within 6. Wow.
Wholly within 6.
Okay.
But it's -1 to hit in both shooting and combat. So it can stack with stealth.
Yeah.
If they have pluses to hit. Okay, in addition, it has the normal fortification things, which are, I'm not going to read them here, but you basically get cover from being behind it, and your opponent isn't punished for falling back from it. It's 115 points for this.
Okay.
So you get basically a non-existent flamer, and you get to place this infiltrate. You get to infiltrate it, so it's not completely useless, but you have to be wholly within 6 of it with an amount of models to get the -1 to hit.
And your opponent can just shoot this, right? Just
they can just shoot it away.
And it's OC 0, and it has no
cannot
movement.
move.
It's just there.
It is just there, and it's malignifying. Miasmically.
I mean,
it's not the worst fortification in the game, which is why it's coming in at number 7, but it's not a great one. All right.
Okay.
Moving on to a different kind of stinky fortification. It's the Feculent Narmaw. And so there's some important differences here. First of all, this one is only T9 instead of T10.
Oh, it's very important.
And it's a 4-up save instead of a 3-up save.
Oh, God.
Only 9 wounds instead of 12. And it's 1 worse leadership. So it's the worst in pretty much all the stat lines. Cannot move, 0 C as well.
Yeah.
It has no weapons.
Okay.
Obviously, the Feculent Narmaw is not trying to do anything feculent to you. Positive note, it can infiltrate.
So
you can use it.
Useful with your no move OC 0 model.
All right. So it has Shroud of Fly's aura. While a friendly Nurgle Legiones Demonica unit is within 6, so not wholly within 6,
okay,
of the fort, it gets stealth. Not -1 to hit in combat, but you get stealth, which is pretty good.
It's not nothing.
It's not nothing, and it works on any of them.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't move though. So.
Then it has diseased cover, where you get the benefit of cover, and you get the other fort stuff.
Okay.
But it is 15 points cheaper at 100 points.
Wow, it is 100 points.
So it's weaker stat-wise. It doesn't have a flamer. That's useless. Instead, it just gives you stealth within 6 inches, which, at the end of the day, is not really the worst fortification out there. No. But it's only 100 points. It is pretty cheap.
It will not single-handedly tank your list. It is not good.
It is not good.
It is not good.
But it is not going to be... You can win games with a Feculent Narmaw.
Yeah.
It is not that detrimental. Okay. Here we go. Moving on into the top 5. You'll be surprised. There are several more fortifications in here. Starting off with the Spore Assist.
What does the Spore Assist do? Okay.
Ready for this, Quinton?
So it doesn't infiltrate.
Doesn't infiltrate.
So this is just going in your deployment zone.
Stuck in your deployment zone, cannot move.
Is OC 0.
OC 0. T10, 3-up save, 10 wounds, leadership 8. Fantastic. It does have a weapon. Spore Assist bioweapons. 24-inch range, 10 attacks. Hitting on 4, strength 5, AP 1, 2 damage. And then it has a combat profile. If you really get into combat with this thing, be shocked.
Be shocked.
It's a monster as well, so it does give up bring it down points. Okay. Here we go. Seed Muculoids. Once per turn in your shooting phase, when selected to shoot, 1 unit with this ability, you can use it instead of making attacks with ranged weapons. So you definitely can't place this and shoot. That would be too broken. So you got to pick.
Shoot, or you can do its roll.
Or do its roll, yeah.
Wow,
it would be too strong the other way.
Yeah.
If it does, you can add 1 new Muculoid Spores unit containing 1 model to your army and set it up anywhere on the battlefield that's wholly within 18 of the model, which is stuck in your deployment zone, by the way, and more than 9 from enemy units. Okay? In addition, we'll get to the Spore in a second, it has Hive defenses, which lets it target the model with Fire Overwatch for 0 CP, even if you've used the stratagem already. which is a 10-shot
Heavy bolter?
garbage unit.
Without
Yes,
sustained hits.
Without sustained.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the Mucilid Spore is effectively a more expensive spore mine. So it is the same thing, though. It stops your opponent from starting or ending an advanced move within 6 inches of you, which is a good rule. The spore mine rule is good. The problem is that you're pumping out one of these a turn for 145 points. 145 points for a fort that can't infiltrate and pumps out one of these if it doesn't shoot its weapon.
Well, it's not even a fortification, right? So it's just like...
Okay, yeah.
It's just a monster?
It's just a monster.
But it can't move and it has OC0.
Yes. 145 points. This is more than an exocrine.
Why is it so bad? John? This is John's fault.
This is John's fault. John did this. Thank him, Tyranid players. Okay, combined with this, as you can see, we're also going to include the Spore Mine datasheet itself because it's effectively a smaller version of the Mucilid Spore. So here we go. What does the actual Spore Mine do? So the regular Spore Mine is taken in a unit of 3 or 6.
Okay.
It moves 4 inches.
Okay.
It's toughness 1.
Toughness
powerful.
1.
T1.
T1.
7 up save.
Okay.
1 wound, 8 leadership, 0 OC. So can't do actions. We know
Toughness 1. Okay.
All right. Bio Minefield. Enemy units can't start or end the advance move within 6. We already talked about that.
Okay.
It deep strikes.
Okay.
Floating Death. It does mortal wounds if the enemy ends within 3 inches. On a 2 to 5, it's 1. On a 6, it's D3.
So just some mortals.
Guess how many points this bad boy is? For 3 Spore Mines, you pay 55 points. 5 more points than an entire Biovore, which pumps them out 1 per turn. So like Spore Mines, 3 of them is 5 more points than a Biovore.
What?
And then the Spore Assist is very close to the equivalent of 3 Biovores, which you would never take, but you could. I don't know.
55 points for 3 Spore Mines?
But John did some really bad things with Spore Mines, and other people did too in the previous edition, and they are paying their sins here. This thing is terrible. The only saving grace and the reason it's not ranked even higher is because stopping your opponent from advancing within 6 and having these cheap things as screens is better than what we're going to see above this.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason it's not the worst thing in the game.
Wow.
Is because
they're 55 points?
55 points. But
so the same as like a squad of Eldar Rangers or like a squad of Space Marine Scouts?
Scouts are 70 points now. They used to be 55.
Yeah.
But yes, it is ludicrous.
55? Okay.
It's not good.
Okay.
All right, so that's number 5. We're combining those together.
Yeah.
Moving on to number 4. The Hammerfall Bunker. The stalwart Hammerfall Bunker. It looks like a bunker from StarCraft. They just ripped it out of there and put it into the game of Warhammer.
Okay, so it doesn't infiltrate, so it is once again stuck in your deployment zone.
Stuck in your deployment zone.
Yeah.
It is tougher than the other ones. It is T12, 2 up save, 14 wounds, leadership 6. Still 0 movement, 0 OC.
Okay.
And then it has a couple weapon options. You can have the missile launcher, you could have the heavy flamer, or you could have the heavy bolter arrays. It doesn't really matter. None of those weapons are really doing much.
No.
It has the same normal fortification rules, and then it has defensive array, where you get to fire Overwatch for 0 OC, even if you have used the stratagem already, and it can only be obviously targeted by this once per turn.
So, like, if this thing is in the open, right? Like, you're like, haha, I have my tough Space Marine fortification. You just let it shoot you, right? For 5 turns? Because it does nothing.
It does effectively nothing.
It's got
like
2 heavy bolters and like a crack missile that hits on 4s. What?
Or if you get within 12 of it, it has a 2d6 shot flamer.
But it doesn't move, Siegs. It doesn't move.
Okay, but that's not the worst part about this bad boy.
Yeah.
So it is tougher than the other ones, and it has a gun that is literally nothing.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell me how many points this thing is.
This is 175 points.
Same points as a Vindicator.
175 points.
Same points as a Vindicator.
Why is it so expensive?
I don't know.
What is
it's
this
tabling the Games Workshop employees. I have no idea.
175 points.
When you walk into your opponent's deployment zone and get shot up by the Hammerfall Bunker,
It's one heavy flamer, though. What is wrong with this thing? It doesn't move.
Somebody came up with this. Okay. 175. Now, 175 is going to be the most expensive thing in this top 5.
Yeah.
However, its durability and having a gun is better than what you get, which is literally nothing from most of these other ones. So let's go ahead and dive into the top 3 here.
Yeah.
Okay. Starting off with the Skull Altar. So get ready for this bad boy. Okay. Here we go. Normal defensive profile of
fortification.
Doesn't move, 0 OC, T12, 3 up save, 10 wounds, leadership 7. Yeah. No gun whatsoever. It does infiltrate. Okay. So we can get this thing in the middle of the table as we need it to. However, once it's there, here's what it does. The area of the battlefield within 6 inches of this fortification is considered to be within your army's shadows. That's pretty good. You want shadows.
Yeah.
Okay. However, they made it a lot easier to get shadows by just putting it on all of the greater demons.
Yeah.
Okay. And then its other part of its role is you pick while this unit is within 6 of a friendly Corn Demons unit, each time you take a battle shock test for that unit, you re-roll the test.
That's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
It gets all the other normal fortification stuff, and it's 105 points for the privilege of doing so.
The Skull Altar is equipped with nothing. With nothing.
This would be better than the Hammerfall Bunker if you couldn't get the whatever the greater demon, the Bloodthirster, didn't just give you shadows. Because having shadows is pretty good.
How many points is a Bloodthirster?
It's not that many.
It's not that many more than the Skull Altar.
Like, you actually get a thing that moves around and can take an enhancement and hit something.
Yeah.
So there's never a reason to ever take this. Not that there's a reason to take any of these. But why are we re-rolling battle shock tests on this? Like, who thought that was an idea?
Yeah.
Okay, so Skull Altar. Moving on to the top 2.
Top 2. Don't tell Nick about this one.
It's the Noctilith Crown. Now, Nick has 3 Noctilith Crowns.
Why do
it's
we
his
own
favorite.
3 Noctilith Crowns, Zeeks?
He was going to try and think about running a double one.
Why
anyway, they nerfed it in the Codex. In the Index, it was actually better. It gave a Aura 4-up invuln, I believe. It doesn't do that anymore, hence why it's in the top 2. So here we go. T11, 3-up save, 14 wounds, leadership 6.
Okay.
Has a Lashing Warp Energies weapon, which is range 6, 8 attacks, hitting on 4s, strength 8, AP 1, 2 damage. So it has a weapon. Now, it has an aura here. While a friendly Heretic Astartes model is within 9 of the fortification, they get +1 leadership.
Okay, dang you to flint.
And then it does the normal fortification stuff of nothing. 125 points for this bad boy. It's gigantic. It is gigantic, immobile. It is thick enough where you cannot walk obliterators from one side to the other. Nick found this out in his actual games that he took it.
Yeah.
Now, the only reason that this is not the worst fortification in the world is because +1 leadership is technically useful in CSM because you have packs and you need leadership tests.
I guess.
That's the only silver lining of why this is not the worst. Okay? So this is number 2. +1 leadership and a 9-inch aura, awesome for an immobile thing that doesn't infiltrate. It's stuck in your deployment zone where you need leadership bonuses.
Yeah.
So moving on.
The worst unit in the game.
Worst unit in the game.
This is one that I've actually played with before. Put this on the table.
It is called the Big Ed Boss Bunker. This bad boy is T10, 3-up save, 12 wounds, lead 7, 0 OC. It has it has a big shooter. I believe it comes equipped with 1. So it has a big shooter and the Gaze of
4
Gore.
big shooters.
You can take 3 additional. Why wouldn't you? Obviously. So 3 big shooters and 1 random weapon, Gaze of Gore, that it hits on 5s. It's terrible. It's firing deck 11, so you can put some boys in here just to shoot them out of it. Or I guess, can it fit flash kits? Yes. 11 orc infantry models. It can even fit mega armor models or jump pack models for some reason. Okay. Its rule.
Yeah.
So it does the normal fort stuff. Its rule is ramshackle cover. Each time a ranged attack is... Oh, no, that's not its rule. Sorry. It's the shouting pole. Order. The shouting pole. While a friendly orc unit is within 6 of this fort, +1 leadership. So it has to be within 6. It cannot infiltrate, so it's also in your deployment zone. And orcs, surprisingly, are not the worst leadership army. The war bosses are lead 6. That's better than Votan. It's crazy. And this thing, hold on. This thing is 135 points. It's the same cost as like a Predator or something crazy.
So I was playing one of the Goonhammer Blunderdome games, and my list had one of these things in it, I deployed it. I literally put it in like the back V of my corner just so it wouldn't take up the space for the rest of my arm.
Wouldn't move block your trucks?
Wouldn't move block my trucks. It did nothing. I think I was playing Jeremy from Canada, and he like dropped like a squad of 5 Scions down to like take my backfield, and the big Ed Boss Bunker shot at it like 4 times and killed like a dude.
Well, it was screening back there.
Yeah.
It was screening your backfield.
Why is it so bad?
Why did they wait? Somebody had to come up with this rule and decided, instead of putting even a modicum of brain power into it, that they just might as well waste this page and put +1 leadership as its role. Why is this even in the game? Just take the fortifications out of the game. They're all garbage.
Legends.
They can be used as terrain. That's fine. They're completely terrible and unusable. If something doesn't move, like you even saw the fortifications that have a rule that's actually relevant to your units, still it's 0C, doesn't move, and it's taking up, it actually move blocks your army.
Yeah.
Why are they here in this game?
Yep.
So that's our top 10 worst units in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
We have some super chats.
Yeah, we got some super chats here, but hopefully you enjoyed the list. This was a lot of fun to kind of dive into units that I've never looked at before and try and judge which one's the worst. There's a lot of bad ones.
There's a lot of bad ones on here.
So some units didn't make it on here because fortifications are just heinously bad. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of flyers that were on the list, but they did like more than literally nothing.
Yeah. So
they didn't make the cut. But the Helldrake being 205 is ludicrous.
Too expensive, yeah.
All right, here we go. RNG's Disciple. Thanks so much for your €2 super chat. My boy, the Obelisk, better be here. Pure trash. It is trash. I know it's trash. I don't have one built or painted. Never have. Possibly never will. But it is only 300 points for a, I believe it's T12, 2-up save, and 24 wound vehicle.
Yeah, it moves, right?
That has
moves.
Guns.
Yeah.
It has the Tesla Sphere guns. It's better than nothing. Mm-hmm. Like, I would pay the 300 points before I pay for any...
3 Big Ed Boss Bunkers.
Any of the fortifications are nonsense on here.
Yeah.
Then we have... Lich Finder General, thanks so much for being a Worm member bronze for a month. Thank you so much. Welcome in. Hope you're having a great time in the Worm. The Empathic Obliterator is a Catan killing weapon in the books. Surely it's good on the table, right?
AP 0.
Strength 7.
AP 0. AP 0.
4 attacks.
Yeah.
It's not doing anything. It might kill 1 Space Marine.
Yeah.
Then we have Redrum with a €5 super chat. Thank you so much, Redrum. This list proves competitive 40k players want broken and strong codexes, not start of 10th edition Eldar broken, but like Eldar or Sisters 10th edition codex strong.
I think that's probably... I think what competitive players really want is like interesting and flavorful codexes, and that sometimes goes hand in hand with them being really strong.
Yeah, I think a codex that has multiple viable play styles, nearly every data sheet has a purpose. I think Necrons
are really good there.
For basically the whole edition has had multiple viable play styles. They've switched as things have gotten nerfed, and most of their data sheets are viable. Like, that's a pretty good standard where everything should be. Mm-hmm. And then we have Alex H joining at the Warham Gold. Thank you so much, Alex. Welcome in. Make sure you get access to that Discord community by syncing your Discord account with with YouTube. Then we have Janet Peterson, hard-hitting 40k journalist. Can you confirm rumors that Kyle Tyrannicus McCord and Russell Eye of Terror Tassin will be at the Streamhouse? What ritual did you use to summon them? So yes, there will be a Streamhouse RTT. Full announcement details coming soon. But we are going to be bringing in some of our great friends and awesome players from across the U.S. And they're going to be coming in and hanging out with us. So we're going to be doing some Streamhouse in soon.
I'm very much looking forward to that because I've gotten absolutely smashed at every previous Streamhouse RTT.
You get to come in running the strongest army in the game. I guess second strong. I would put guard higher.
Yeah.
Frankly, but one of the top 2 armies. No pressure, Quinton. Now you got to perform.
No,
But yes, look forward to the announcement in the coming days or week or so. Then we have Mr. Redrum with a €2 super chat. Thank you so much. Thanks for the best terrain pieces to use in 40k video. If you
better see a Big Ed Boss Bunker there.
I want to see a Big Ed Boss Bunker. Well, that's the thing is, what is it called that Goonhammer does?
The Blunder Dome?
Yeah, Blunder Dome, where you try and write the worst lists and have
I had
other
to
people play
with
them.
a Big Ed Boss Bunker. Yeah.
It fits naturally in
I
that
played
format.
into 3 Death Strike missiles.
Wahboy has been a member at the gold tier for 27 months.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your longtime support. True video title, Fortifications ranking. We did have a few of them in here, and man, are they bad.
Very terrible.
I had to read all of them because I didn't know what most of them did. Yeah, I had to read all of them. I was like,
poor soul.
What does this actually do? And turns out not much of anything. Thank you so much, Wahboy, for your support. And that looks to be all of these. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and tell your friends about us. All of that massively helps us grow. In addition, leave a comment below letting us know what you thought of the list, what things were on here. We had like a list of 30 or so units, and we decided to put these ones on here, but there are plenty of other bad ones. So feel free to go ahead and let us know what you think should have made the list, in your opinion. And if you are looking for more content from us, releasing today is a highly competitive game between Creations of Bile CSM versus my Skitarii 100 cohort AdMech. It's a banger of a game. There's going to be some post-game recaps. And coming up tomorrow, we have Aeldari versus the Emperor's Children.
Yes, yeah.
So
very interesting game.
2 of the newest codexes going head-to-head. So we got some real amazing matchups coming out in the Worm at theworm.vhx.tv. There's a 3-day free trial. And in addition, you get access to our wonderful international Discord community and content for every faction in the game. So check it out. This is the best time. 40k is an amazing spot. There's so many viable things, and we've got videos for any of it. So come on in and hang out with us. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate your support, and we'll see you all next time for more content. Tune in tomorrow for that Emperor's Children versus Aeldari game, and then finally on Thursday, we'll be hanging out and doing what do we hope will be in the next balanced data slate? Hopefully it fixed the Big Ed Boss Bunker. That's definitely going to be the priority on my list, but maybe we'll see what's on other people's lists. So thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you all next time. So long for now.